Welcome to High Yield Highlights, Episode 5. Today I want to talk a little bit about seed treatments, why we put them on. I wanted to have somebody a little even more knowledgeable on it than me come in. This is Pete Neal. He's our Bayer salesman for North Dakota. We have a lot of people that say, well, why do I need it?
Right. It's a great question. It's the number one question, right? Why do I want to mess around with this? Putting a seed treatment on my cereal grains, soybeans, whatever crop that doesn't come in a bag, basically, right? The simple answer is it protects you from pests. So whether the pest is a fungal disease or wireworms, could be an insect problem, but that's the most simplistic answer for why you use a seed treatment, is to protect you from those pests that are in the soil.
And then, I mean, it doesn't really seem to matter whether it's wet or dry. A lot of people, oh, it's dry, I don't need it.
Yeah, there's always that debate. When should I be using a seed treatment? When should I not? And really, soil conditions don't determine that. You've got a certain set of diseases, a certain set of pathogens that are fungus, basically, that are more active when it's cool and wet, and those are like pythiums, damping off, and they're more of an issue when it's cool and wet soil. But even in the drier soil, you've got different pathogens, but they're fusarium, like crown rot, and root rots that can impact your cereal grains, even though the soil is dry. And I think a lot of people lose sight of that.
And then I'm kind of bad at my worms, but even cut worms or wireworms, people don't think they have them, but then a lot of times they do.
Yeah.
So then we could go to the Raxil Pro Shield, correct?
Yeah, Raxil Pro Shield's got an insecticide in it, so you've got imidacloprid, and that's for wireworms, and of course we're in no-till country or minimum till. Wireworms seem to be more of an issue in those cooler, wetter soils. They stay up and they feed longer on that seed.
What our crop scouting or crop advisors tell me is that a lot of times in wheat they don't even notice it because there's so much foliage out there that they don't see it, but if they actually knew, they dig them up all the time.
Yeah. Well, from a wireworm perspective, yes. And if you've got wireworms bad enough, you'll notice them. But even from a fungal disease, I don't know that in wheat, especially, that people recognize the stand loss. And there's a lot of information that'll show you, or that you can glean from research that shows 70% of the time, if you use a seed treatment, you get a better stand. And I think that's really what you're after with a seed treatment, is to start healthy, get that small seedling out of the ground, protected, and then promote really a healthy plant, but really a healthy root zone or root ball there, because those roots are what's going to feed that plant for the rest of the year. And if they're not healthy, you're off to a bad start.
So it actually helps with roots and everything. I didn't actually know that.
Absolutely, because the diseases impact the roots, right? So they'll attack the crown or they'll attack the roots. And when you talk about drier, the healthier root system you have, the better ability you have for the plant to grab water out of the soil profile. Whereas if you've got a diseased root mass, it's probably not going to be very good at grabbing what little bit of water might be there. So they can actually help you in a drought.
And your two main are Raxil.
We've got Raxil Pro and we've got Raxil Pro Shield, and then, like we mentioned, the Pro Shield has the insecticide in it, so you would use that in areas where you were concerned about wireworms, basically.
Okay, well, I appreciate you coming in, and thanks for watching. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.